What's shaking, everybody? It's Ned here with a little update about the future of Improv Tabletop. Now that we finished up Blaze in the Dao Fei, that's gotten all wrapped up, we are going to be changing up our format a little bit moving forward. We've been at this podcasting thing for about 30 months now, I think it is, which is pretty long in hindsight. We've been doing this for quite a while. And during that time, we've learned a few things about what does work for us with our format and maybe what doesn't work quite as well. We've got kind of a unique thing going on, so it's taken some learning. But I'm going to give you kind of three main announcements about the future of the show, and I'll elaborate further on some of the decision-making process afterwards if you're interested in sticking around. But for now, here's just the TLDR summary of what you can expect. So first of all, sticker months are going to be changing to October and April. Those are the months in which we send out the stickers to the members of the Sticker Club. And during those months, I'm going to be taking a little break from the main campaigns because there's a lot of administrative stuff that needs to happen during those months, not just the stickers, but also, making sure that the campaigns are all set up and ready to go, various other financial stuff going on behind the scenes. And it's also nice to have just a little chance to reset my brain a little bit. So during those months, I don't want you to be entirely without content. So we're going to be looking at those Choose Your Own Adventure book games that we've been doing for a while. Those seem to be really enjoyed by our fans. And so for the rest of this month, you're going to be getting Sonic the Hedgehog Adventure Game Book 3, Sonic vs. Zonic, which is wild. So look forward to that for the rest of this month of October. Now, second announcement, the main feed, we're going to be bringing back our Fate campaigns starting in November. And the first one that we're going to be bringing back is a combination of Starboo Valley and Ghostbusters, which we're looking at entitling Starboo Valley. So we're really looking forward to that. Should be lots of fun. And then the other big announcement is our ongoing campaigns will be continuing, but on our Patreon feed. They're going to replace the obligatory talkback, and we're going to be releasing those twice a month. And it's going to be in a little bit of a different format, i.e. we're going to be doing these in video format. And the first campaign we're going to be doing there is a return of Dumbledore's Delinquents using the Kids on Brooms system, which you may have seen over on Dimension 20. It's a system that's very well made for telling a story in a magical school, which Dumbledore's Delinquents definitely does. So we're very excited to bring back that campaign and see more about what we can do in that fun world. And so this is going to be the format that we'll be pursuing for the foreseeable future. Fate campaigns on the main feed, long-form campaigns on the Patreon feed. That might change in the future as we learn more about what works well for our podcast. But for now, that is the format you can expect to see for the foreseeable future. At this point, that's the bulk of the announcements. So if you want to pop out, you may. But if you want to hear more about some of the reasoning behind these decisions, because I want to, just share some of that information with our fans, feel free to stick around. So first of all, bringing Fate back to the main feed. We've had tons and tons of fun doing these Avatar campaigns and seeing some of the more long-form style campaigns as well. But there is something very special about the Fate campaigns that all of us have just been missing. It's much more improv heavy. It feels a lot more like the improv shows we used to do back in the day. And that's something that was one of the reasons why we started Improv Tabletop in the first place. And I want to think about what Improv Tabletop is bringing to the podcasting space that's meaningfully unique. And as much fun as we're having doing Avatar stuff and Blades in the Dark stuff, there's plenty of other podcasts doing that. Heck, there are plenty of other podcasts doing Fate Accelerated as well. But doing the fully improvised Fate campaigns, that's something that I feel like is unique, something that we can bring that nobody else is bringing in the same way. And I want Improv Tabletop to be Improv Tabletop. Even though 10,000 Things and Blades in the Dao Fei have been mostly improvised, it still kind of stinks to talk to somebody about the purpose of my podcast and be like, oh yeah, we make up everything on the spot, except for a couple things here and there, maybe. It's nice to be able to feel like it is, yes, Improv Tabletop. But like I said, we do still love the ongoing campaigns, and we've been wanting to do both side by side for quite a while now. We had an old plan, an old structure set up with our Patreon where we would have additional stretch goals we would hit to be able to fund more editing. But it turns out that wasn't as stable of a plan as we were hoping. The way that Patreon works, sometimes, people's life situations change and they're not able to support the Patreon anymore, which is perfectly fine and very understandable. And I don't want to be asking anybody to financially commit when they're not able to. But that does pose a little bit of a problem for us where it's like, oh, if we are making enough money to pay Caleb to edit 3 episodes a month and suddenly we're not, then that poses a little bit of a problem. So we want to be able to figure out a format that we can start supporting now without needing to tie our output to financial incentive. And that is where this new format comes in. We love the ongoing campaigns, our patrons love them too, and we want to do something special for our patrons especially. And so that is why we're bringing in what I'm tentatively calling ImpTab Unpolished. It's going to be in that video format that you might be familiar with from some other actual play streamers. One that comes to mind off the top of my head is the Glass Cannon Network. They've got another very good Blades in the Dark campaign, Haunted City, if you're interested in checking that out. This video format will allow us to start telling more stories now because they won't require as much editing. Now, the video won't be quite as polished because it's a lot harder to edit video in the same way that I've been editing audio for our main feed, but you'll be able to see our faces. You'll be able to see our reactions in real time, and I'll still be adding music to it. We'll still be recording our audio separately so we can have high quality audio going into it. And I've actually already tested this out with a couple patrons by sending them some of our unedited episodes, and they've said that it's still enjoyable to listen to. The stories are still great, even if there are a couple extra pauses and ums here and there. And we will be releasing these episodes in an audio-only format as well, so if you want to watch the video and see our faces, that'll be available for you. But if you want to just have the audio in that Patreon-exclusive RSS feed that you can hook up to your podcatcher of choice, then you'll be able to have that as well. And with ImpTab Unpolished, we've got a whole bunch of ideas we want to try. We've been looking at doing Monster of the Week, continuing our Tension Builders campaign, continuing Animal Station with Deadlands, or Miceborne with Root, or something like that. We've got other systems that we want to try out as well that aren't connected to previous Fate campaigns we've done. Spire, The City Must Fall is an RPG system I'm really interested in. Maybe do something in Scum and Villainy, which is like Blades in the Dark in space. We've even got some ideas for a D&D 5e campaign we might do at some point in the future. What we do with this feed will depend on what you guys want to see and what we're interested in doing at the time. So if you get on the Discord, you'll be able to offer us some input about what campaigns you want to see in the future. But for now, Dumbledore's Delinquents is what you can expect in the near future. Kids on Brooms is a very fun system that we're very excited to dig into. And that's it, I suppose. That's the bulk of the announcements that I wanted to give you. If you've got other questions, feel free to reach out to us on our social media at Improv Tabletop. Email us at improvtabletop@gmail.com. If you're on the Discord, reach out to me directly there. But thanks for sticking around. Much love and stuff. I'll catch you next time with some Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh boy, it's a wild time, but it's a good time. Much love and stuff. Bye now.